Hey man, say man, it's that time once again for me to talk about Four Nights of the Apocalypse. I'm cleared of disease, mostly. We are so back. Chapter 202, titled The Truest of Evils. And for the cover image, we see everyone doing their damnedest to fight against the Dark Souls boss. The spirit transforming and getting her weapon out. Like, Narcians really looks like they're carrying the most, as always. Hauser pulling up with a goddamn guile ass pose and hitting it with a tornado. Balin is over there cutting shit. And we see Edling carrying Donnie as well. Like, people are really getting into the mix of things. And we see that the door is unconscious and gets licked by one of the purgatory beasts. Again, I can't remember these niggas' names. It'll come one day. But it seems my guesstimation last time was wrong, and the door did indeed fall from the tower. But it seemed he also got saved. And then Azol the Small comes to tell him to like wake up from the situation, since obviously it's not the most peaceful of times right now, as shown by everyone still fighting the Dark Souls boss. Izol the Small looks at the door and is like,
I know that ain't who I think it is.
With Izol then telling her not to stray away from her, since obviously her orders was to protect her. And then suddenly the door senses a familiar magic force, and we just see this absolute dime of a panel of Ironside and Pellegarde posted up next to each other. Look at, oh man, Nakaba's armor details are just, he's one of one with it. Like this they've never looked so cold together. Like, genuinely, I can't knock this. This is a tough IG flick. And the two of them talk about how crazy the festival is going, and understand why they were suddenly cooled over, with Beltribe immediately understanding the situation of how both Pellegarde and Ironside now have been granted chaos power as well. And we see Ironside is actually just fly, like no boat or anything, unlike like Pellegarde is literally the only nigga out of all of them using a tool to keep himself afloat. And look, there are flap effects for their capes as well. Like, this is genuine aura farming, with Waraldane telling them, giving them welcome for arriving as well. And Altristan's like, bro, all of them are here now, and going, and obviously everyone senses how strong they become as well. And Percival just doesn't say a word and immediately guns for Pellegarde and asks him if he recognizes him, and tells him that obviously, you know, it's me, we were boys, and like tells him how he saved and the others for his family as well, and tells him that he's just happy that Pellegarde wasn't really a bad man at all, and states that like they can protect his family. And Waraldane looks like she's about to do something, but Pellegarde's just like, oh, hold on, bub. And as Percival continues to yap, Pellegarde just whacks him atop the side of it, the bottom of his head, and like genuinely, look at Percival's face, bro. That genuinely looks disgusting what Pellegarde did. And it seems his weapon even got an upgrade, because I don't remember his mace being double-ended and Percival sent crashing. And Gawain is obviously telling him, yeah, that's what your dumbass gets for trying to go into enemy territory unguarded. And Pellegarde then lands next to Percival, in front of Percival, and it's just like, yeah, stop yapping nonsense, bro. I don't have no family at all, and that this is indeed the first time that they've met, and that obviously he knows Percival as a Knight of Prophecy. And Percival is just stunned at hearing that, and Gawain and Tristan are just sick of this shit and try to sneak Pellegarde, and Percival's really trying to stop them from doing it, but it doesn't matter anyways, because guess who stops them? Goddamn Ironside. And he's just like, wow, you can't really interrupt someone's conversation, like learn some manners, gang. Tristan just spits to the side, and that looks real familiar to me. Percival gets up and tries to remind Pellegarde that he saved Donnie and the crew from their pursuers before, and Pellegarde is just like, yeah, I do remember that, but I have no idea why he ever did something as moronic as that. And man, he offer, and then we hear a bunch of other people crying out to be saved, since they obviously don't want to die. And Gawain's just sick and tired of Percival's nonsense as well, with Tristan just telling her to tee up for the people in front. And Ironside's just like, yeah, I can't lie, the cannon fodder is kind of annoying me. And he does throw some gang signs, and a spell called Ragnarok just obliterates them. And Tristan's just like,
whoa, brother, whoa, now. You got too much dip on your chip.
Like, aren't those citizens of Camelot as well? And Ironside is just like, okay, and what's your point? And then they're reminded that, yo, this is Anthem, bro. Like, this is a prison for the niggas that hate, that are dissidents to Camelot, and that to them insects matter more than them. And Gwen's telling Tristan to reel it in, because obviously the rage bait is exactly what they're trying to go for. And Tristan's just like, what if those people were precious to you, bro? Like, the 4 years are genuinely getting sick and tired of this shit, and that because they're genuinely like, can y'all like just really stop with that shit? Because the idea of anything more important than Arthur's orders, it just simply doesn't exist. And we see in the back that Pellegarde is going up against Percival, who blocks an attack. Like, I can't lie, this kind of brainwash, this has to be a war crime. I feel like this has to be a war crime. Like, this has to be a chargeable offense or something. Like, you have to be able to take a nigga to court for some shit like this. Because we know 3 out of the 4 evils genuinely have people close to them that they loved and joined Camelot to save. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Worldane was in it just for the love of the game. She seems like the type. Like, Pellegarde is genuinely about ready to enjoy himself, saying it was about to be a lot of fun. And Percival is confused on what Arthur could have possibly done, before he then just gets, you know, mentally airdropped by Gopher to calm down, and explains how chaos implanted by Arthur has like not only powered them up, but also locked away like any memories that are incompatible with any of Arthur's orders. So those including the memories of those who were truly precious to them, the kind of people they could never replace in their lives. And upon hearing this, Percival is just like, oh shit, I'm like that to Pellegarde. And he just doesn't, he probably has this little flirty feeling in his heart hearing that. And Gopher just straight up says, yeah, no, I can't lie, I have no idea how to undo this shit. So you might just wanna, you know, poke and rage bait them a bit with contradictions. And hearing that, Percival immediately jumps away from Pellegarde over to Ironside and is like, I rage bait them? Alright. And then Percival's just like, yo, Ironside, you ain't forget about me. And states how much he hates him as well. And then Ironside's just like, yeah, we agree with each other for once. And how he could ever forget that not only is he a knight of prophecy, but also a failed experiment, and the one thing that should have never been born into this world, which is a crazy thing to hear from your dad, adopted or otherwise. And then Percival's, yeah, but like, what was I create a vessel for whom? And then that actually stops Ironside's thoughts, like, wait, what, huh? And Percival presses him about again, yeah, so what was I a vessel created for? And we just cut back to the Elden Ring boss fight that is happening down below with the others, with the Dora completely ignoring it and is just telling Snark and Sia, I'm only saying their names because it's obviously here in the panel, to take him away from there, with Iso the Small asking where he's going, and the Dora is just like, I'm going back to the top, with Iso the Big just like, yo, you know who's up there, right? Like, what are you really gonna do? And the Dora is just like, I have to see my father at least one more time to try to get him to remember me. Iso the Small is just like, yo, like, Arthur was one who took the memories from him to begin with. And hearing that, the Dora is just shook and just wonders what he could even do, but still just wants to see his father at least. And Iso the Small takes his hand and asks the Dora if she can join him. And they join hands and they seem to agree on going together. And that's the end of the chapter. I like this little dynamic that Nakaba is gonna try to build between the Dora and Iso the Small. Arthur, I don't have to say it again, but Arthur is a sick man with sick thoughts, because this is genuinely heartbreaking to me. He crossed upon the thing that he really should never have crossed upon, and that is the relationship between Pellegarde and Percival. That father-son dynamic that they had was perfect. Got me out here, goddamn, looking like Homelander, and I haven't even watched The Boys. Like, oh man, like, genuinely, what do I say to this without sounding like I'm gonna genuinely crash out? Because I genuinely am going to crash out. I hate niggas. I hate Arthur. Like, genuinely, like, I can't lie, I am waiting for an absolute top tier backstory to see why Arthur Pendragon has become the way he's become, because Lord have mercy. But genuinely, this was a good chapter. I kind of would have liked to see more squabbles, to see more of how exactly Chaos had boosted Pellegarde and Ironside's magics, but now since they're on the same level as Worldane and Beltrap, but I still think Beltrap is probably the strongest out of the four of them. I can't say much else. Maybe we'll get more of that next chapter. I kind of doubt it. Do you guys reckon? I'm throwing this as an oddball question. Do you guys reckon, since we've been hearing about the God of War, do you reckon that Lancelot will find a way to get to Antwerp just through sheer hatred for these niggas and trying to kill them, and thus reunite? It would be cool. It would be cool, but I don't see it happening. Again, really nice chapter. Offer, he
has to go, blood. He has to go, blood.
That's all I have to say. Take care. Till next time. Bye bye.
One, then it's two, then it's three, then it's four bodies. You take a break to celebrate and then you swap the Johnny.